Virginia sells itself as the birthplace of America. Jamestown, the Founding Fathers, the cradle of liberty. But here's the truth. Virginia wasn't just where America began. It was where America's racial system was designed. From the first enslaved Africans in 1619, to Richmond's slave markets, to Jim Crow and massive resistance won, and even to today's battles over schools, monuments, and voter suppression, Virginia didn't just live through history. It wrote the playbook. Chapter 1, 1619. Slavery's Blueprint. In August 1619, more than 20 Africans were brought ashore at Point Comfort. At first, some were treated like indentured servants, but Virginia's lawmakers changed the rules. By the 1660s, slavery became permanent, inherited, and racial. Virginia created America's legal blueprint for slavery, and it spread across the colonies. Chapter 2, Richmond, capital of slavery. By the 1800s, Richmond wasn't just the Confederacy's capital. It was one of the largest slave trading markets in America. Families were auctioned at Shockoe Bottom, while banks and insurance companies financed it all. And after emancipation, black burial grounds in Richmond were paved over, but Confederate graves, protected and funded by law. Chapter 3, Reconstruction and Erasure. After the Civil War, black Virginians voted in huge numbers. They held office, built schools, and pushed for equality. But by 1902, Virginia rewrote its constitution. Poll taxes and literacy tests silenced 90% of black voters overnight. That constitution designed for exclusion still shapes Virginia law today. Chapter 4, The Lost Cause. Myth. Virginia also rewrote memory. Groups like the United Daughters of the Confederacy raised statues of Lee and Jackson and rewrote textbooks so slavery looked benevolent. Those monuments weren't about history. They were built during Jim Crow as reminders of who held power. When Donald Trump defended them as heritage, he was echoing Virginia as propaganda. Chapter 5, Massive Resistance. In 1954, when the Supreme Court said segregated schools were unconstitutional, Virginia didn't comply. It launched massive resistance. Prince Edward County shut down its public schools for 5 years rather than integrate. White children went to private academies. Black children were locked out of education. Virginia called it freedom of choice. But freedom for who? Chapter 6, Urban Renewal. In the 1950s and 60s, Virginia used bulldozers instead of chains. Black neighborhoods like Jackson Ward and Richmond, once called the Harlem of the South, were destroyed for highways. Generations of wealth were wiped out, families displaced, the culture scattered. Today, those same streets are being revitalized again. Except the condos aren't, for the families who built the neighborhood. Chapter 7, Virginia today. Look closely and you'll see the echoes. Voter ID laws, gerrymandered districts, book bans, battles over what history gets taught. It's not new. It's Virginia as old blueprint, updated for today. And when Trump or others talk about law and order or heritage, they're recycling the same language Virginia used to silence progress for centuries. So, let's be honest. Virginia wasn't just the birthplace of America's freedom. It was the architect of its oppression. And until we confront that blueprint from 1619 to today, we'll keep living in a system designed centuries ago. If this video opened your eyes, share it, comment with your thoughts, and subscribe because history like this won't be taught in school. But here, we uncover the truth. Let's move forward together, acknowledge the past, and build a future where all voices are heard. The journey won't be easy, but it's essential for true change. Next time, we'll delve even deeper into hidden histories from across the United States. Subscribe and join us on this journey of discovery and accountability. Remember, understanding history is not about placing blame, but about understanding the roots of today's challenges so we can overcome them. Together, let's learn, grow, and ensure we pass on a legacy of truth and inclusion.